to the Cinementalists. Noun, plural. Definition, those whose love for movies runs so deep, they can't help but do a podcast about them. Hosted by Colton Robertson and Joseph George. Hello everybody and welcome in to the Cinementalists. It's time we continue our anticipation for the final reckoning with Mission Impossible 3. It was originally released on May 5th, 2006. It was written for the screen by Alex Kurtzman, Roberto Orci, and JJ Abrams, directed by JJ Abrams. I am Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. And we got another first viewing in the books for you. How are you feeling about Mission Impossible 3?
This is what I thought I was getting into, sort of thing. This is all. It kind of just started clicking. I could finally be like, ooh, is this actually going to come back around? This actually does feel like I can theory juice, and all the while. I feel like it kind of blended the first two movies I don't know. I feel like the first movie is still kind of king. That's I don't know. I feel like undebatable.
When it comes to how well it's done, yes.
Yeah. But I think this movie kind of took kind of the best elements of both movies. Like there was still a whole lot of action in this one, but it still had like the chunk kind of operation break, we have this operation, and this operation, and then
it's just, I mean, sequence after sequence of fucking awesome stuff,
Yeah,
like the chunked portions of, like, you can easily divide it up into this happens, then this happens, then this happens, then this happens, then this happens, and it is really, really fun, dude. I love Mission Impossible 3. It's a shame that I have to call myself an MI3 apologist just because the tasteless masses have decided this is subpar. Yeah. Like, come on now, this is peak. We're looking at peak. Now, don't get me wrong. This is the worst looking entry of the franchise. Yeah. There's kind of no doubt about that, actually. While I appreciate JJ Abrams as a director, he's certainly gotten better. This was his debut feature film. As far as a visual director, we've seen The Force Awakens, we've seen The Rise of Skywalker, and if there's anything you can't complain about with those movies, I feel like it's the way they look. And another thing that he's always been really good at is working with actors. His actor directing is incredible. He is always getting the most out of his performers. And that's something that really comes through here. And what could have been, I think that Tom Cruise might deliver his best performance yet of the franchise. Yeah. And he's still not the best performance of the movie, which is crazy. But it's hard to be the best performance of the movie when you're across from Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Ooh. Yeah.
And the craziest thing about Philip Seymour Hoffman is that he is undoubtedly elevating that role like crazy. It is his performance of Owen Davian that makes Owen Davian compelling, because if you take, like, in a vacuum, if you just took the screenplay, just what Owen Davian says, it's menacing, but it's not like, it's just kind of like, all right, like, okay. There's something that, like, it's almost underdeveloped. The mystery is so prominent that you never get to know him in any capacity, and nor do you need to, and you don't need to, because Philip Seymour Hoffman is fucking dominating it. Like that, he is bringing that to life perfectly. So they got the exact right actor, and JJ Abrams got exactly what he needed out of him.
Yeah, this was. You're right. I didn't really think about that. He is just kind of this middle man, or kind of, well, maybe, I don't know. It seems that he is the leader of whatever the fuck this, I don't know, rabbit's foot is going to turn out to be. I guess they kind of explained it a little bit. They said it would eventually be sold to some Middle Eastern buyer, and then launched, and then a strike, and then just a massive cleanup operation. So I don't know. I don't, it seems, but like it's so small. It's like, what does that even mean? I don't know. I feel like the end though, it must come back, or this has to. I don't know. I feel like it's just a gimme. They left it so vague on purpose that they were like, well, figure it out in the future, unless they already knew what they were gonna do 100%. But I don't know. This feels fun.
Yeah, and it certainly could be.
Yeah,
I think that we might be. There's a lot of speculation with the trailer of MI8 that some of the MI3 stuff will come back around.
Oh wait, is this?
It hasn't.
Is this
in the
that
trailer? It is in the trailer. The best part or one of the most exciting parts of the trailer is him reaching for the rabbit's foot. And I think it's them showing us the heist that they don't show us during this movie, like the one where they're just outside the whole time.
And he jumps out the window,
and he's like, I can't get back up to the roof. I gotta go. Which is one of my favorite parts of this movie, by the way. I love that they just like show how quick that operation had to be by never even going inside. He just gets the rabbit's foot and he gets out. That's super fun. I love it. But there's a part of him grabbing the rabbit's foot in the trailer, which is kind of like maybe they're doing a little bit of a flashback thing to explain how the rabbit's foot came to. So, and not only that, one of my favorite lines in the trailer is, "Will you trust me? One last time." So like, and that's a big line in this movie. And I don't know if it's specifically a reference to that conversation with Julia, if he is talking to Julia in that moment, but that I need you to trust me. I need you to trust me. And then in the trailer for MI8, he goes, I need you to trust me.
Yep.
One last time. Yep. So like, I think that there's I almost certainly think there's a few pull-throughs. And I said this off mic, undoubtedly, the foundational influence for the rest of the franchise. I think from here on out, MI3 is the most influential film on the franchise. The sentimentality is on 10. The movies didn't necessarily lack them prior to this, but this is the first one that feels like Ethan Hunt and his friends saving the world. You know what I'm saying? Yep. That's what the rest of the franchise is Ethan Hunt and his friends against the world. We're gonna save this bitch. Let's do it.
And even going like against the IMF, even a little. It's like they're going rogue a little bit too. It's this one was, and not knowing, I didn't know like at first. Lawrence Fishburne. Oh my God, him coming in. I love any Lawrence Fishburne I can get. And man, he was coming in hot. This dude came in just absolutely grilling, and then there was a twist in the middle where I thought he was eventually like on what's
Davian's Owen Davian's side.
Okay, yeah. I was just gonna call him Philip Seymour
Kerry
Hoffman,
Russell's character is like, I'm pretty sure the call came from his office. I think he's working with Davian, which is clever. Clever workaround. Call came from his office.
So I love all these back and forths of not knowing who to trust and just being who's on whose side sort of thing. But it seems I don't know. Does Lawrence Fishburne come back? Like, is he a regular in the?
No, I don't think Lawrence Fishburne's been in another movie since then. So like that's why I'm like it is truly an adventure of the week sort of format up through the first 4, and then 5, 6, 7, and now 8 are a little bit more intertwined. The thing is that 6. Like, this one deals with something that happened in this one. 6 deals with stuff that happened in MI3 and has happened since. Okay. Like, they do start to call back to this one. This is something that, like, it's pretty foundational. They had Ethan Hunt get married. They had Ethan Hunt have a wife. Like, that's... You can't ignore that from now on. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is a life-changing thing that there's no way he can just skirt past and be like, yep, she's gone now. Whoops. Don't know what happened there. We'll never talk about it. No, like, they'll talk about it. That's something that we'll get to, But, one of the central things that Luther talks about and this is the first time you really get a sense of Luther and Ethan Hunt's true friendship, I think. The way it's kind of budding.
Yeah.
But, you know, normal relationships don't work for guys like us. You know? That's something that the consequences of the end of this movie will be felt for the next movie, you know? And it's really fun, though, you know? Like it's crazy tonally just how in line the rest of the movies are with this, but just in terms of filmmaking, how different they are. Like, I love thinking about images and parts of different movies, like the later movies, a lot more than I like thinking about parts of this movie, even though on paper this has just moment after moment after moment. But like JJ Abrams' film acumen at the time is just not at where it needs to be to pull it off effectively. One of my favorite film critics described it as looking like a TV movie. Which I mean, like it could look a lot better, you know. It could look a lot better.
They were in the Vatican, you know, like one of just the easiest, I don't know, prettiest point of camera anywhere, and it's probably going to look good. But there wasn't really
I couldn't even tell we were in the Vatican.
Yeah, exactly. Like honestly, the bathroom that they did the whole transfer of, you know, Ethan going in. Like,
come on now. Like that's awesome. That again, that's why I'm so I love this movie, but I don't blame anyone for feeling like it's the worst. You know, like I feel like I'm able to suspend my desires for just a perfect film whenever we are doing super fun, awesome stuff like this, whenever Philip Seymour Hoffman and Tom Cruise are acting across from each other, whenever Philip Seymour Hoffman is being Tom Cruise, being Philip Seymour Hoffman, which is always good.
Oh, it breaks my brain. It's like, when did the switch happen? Like, for what, that shot was nuts.
The visual effects are fucking sick.
Yeah, this is the first time that I felt like it wasn't just like a literal, I don't know, a literal physical mask and swap just to the other person. This had some blending of like some, I don't know, I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
whenever Luther's putting it on and it starts to tighten and it becomes Philip Seymour Hoffman. Like, it's like, whoa. Like, yeah, that's sick.
That was nuts. And then you're right, like they got into like the creation of the masks, and then like the voice, like he had to read the poem or whatever, and that was sick, and it like took some time to upload, you know. He's just fucking you know, like, and like what, like I love that this guy is immediately suspicious if his boss just doesn't talk. Like the look of him alone isn't enough for him. Like he's like,
sir?
It's, I don't know, but it was nice to have that moment of just like you know, it's all, you know, I don't know, it almost was over right then and there. There's so many of, I don't know.
He's holding it, well, and you know, this was and a few of JJ Abrams' first movies, and this is something that I will give him. As far as tone, as far as the screenplay, as far as the sentimentality, as far as everything that he aimed to do, the only thing he doesn't have is the visual prowess, which is, you know, that's a big part of it. But this is kind of what made people think he was the next Steven Spielberg. Like everything except the visual acumen is there. He very, very easily, and I don't think he ever, I mean, that's a high height to reach, you know, but like I don't think he ever did, but you know, it's something that does come across in all of his work, that is obviously a massive influence on him, is Steven Spielberg and his work in the specifically probably the 80s, you know. But there's a lot of shots where you can tell, I at least I think that's what he's trying to achieve a little bit, like in some of the best looking shots of the movie. Like the smoke, the disposable camera self-destructing and the smoke floating up, and that little, like that feels very Spielbergian, you know. I think that there's a lot that he obviously takes from Steven Spielberg as a filmmaker, and that in turn, while I do think you mentioned at the top that this is a good blend of the first two movies, the only thing it lacks in favor of that sentimentality, which I do appreciate a great deal, is compared to the first two, it is relatively sexless.
Yeah.
There
with
is,
a wife too. Come on now. Like, what are we doing?
Come on. This is the time to really do it up, and relatively, there are moments where it's like, they're flirting, that's cute, and it's not even with the wife either. It's with Tom Cruise being Philip Seymour Hoffman with Maggie Q, which is good. I like that moment, but still, it's one of those things that is a foundational part of the franchise that later installments do bring back around. The sexiness and the flirtation and the there's a tension here. There's never really sexual tension in this movie, which I think is foundational to Mission Impossible. I'm not saying that I'm like, I'm not like, please give me sex in these movies. No, I don't care, but I need an energy there.
Yeah.
So that's and I think, funny enough, that is the Spielberg influence that makes it sexless. His movies aren't sexy. That's just kind of he's never done it like that, And that's why I'm like, I think that's part of, again, what made people go, ooh, this is a little like Spielberg. It's because there's no fucking sex in it or sexiness in it, which is funny.
Yeah, MI1, Tom Cruise is just a sexy man, and he's looking good.
Oh yeah.
But he's still not,
and
Max.
His energy with John Voight's wife and all that,
that's what does it. Yeah,
that's what really does.
Energy.
Thandie Newton and Tom Cruise in two.
In two, maximum sex. I mean, they're going for it. That is what they're going for. And then here, it's like, we're toned down. We got the goody two shoes version of I don't know, of the franchise. So you're right.
Now I look forward, and with Julia, the actress who plays Julia, I love her. I think she's incredible. Michelle Monaghan, really great actress.
Man, have I seen her?
She's been around.
Let's see. I don't. She was looking familiar, just in. Yeah. No. Well.
Yeah, I mean, you probably get a little spoilers for how much Mission Impossible she's in if you scroll through this. But
I guess maybe that's not a good idea. That's why I haven't looked through the next Mission Impossible movies. I don't know, just for any trivia or award. I was thinking of checking the Kansas City Film Critics Circle Award awards on the next one. I'm like, no, I won't. I'm like, it's weird. Peaks.
Oh, she was in Constantine.
Ooh, well, who is?
Maybe that's it.
The main.
She's pretty far down. She looks like she's pretty far down the cast list. That was Rachel Weisz. Rachel Weisz was the main, where she played like twins, where one of them jumps off the top of a building.
Man, that movie. That is crazy.
I kind of want to rewatch that movie. It's so fucking funny, man. I like it. But regardless, Michelle Monaghan is a real girl next door type. That is kind of, and that's what they're going for in their portrayal of her, is that she's the perfect wife. You know what I'm saying? Like that is the woman you marry. You settle down with her. She's what almost got Tom Cruise out of the fucking game. Takes quite the woman to do that. And I think that they do a really good job of portraying her as such. But we have like in the next few movies, we got Lea Seydoux is in the next movie, and Rebecca Ferguson eventually enters the scene, and Haley Atwell eventually, Pom Klementieff eventually. Like there's a ton of gorgeous people across this franchise, and Paula Patton. There's just all sorts of people who enter the scene, and I appreciate that they kind of represent this sort of like the sexiness of the spy underworld thing he's got going on. Like the allure to the adrenaline is often tied to these. And I don't want to undersell Michelle Monaghan. That's a gorgeous woman. I'm not trying to say, but the way they portray her, and again in a relatively sexless movie, is that girl next door type. It is safe. It's it's a comfort, which is absolutely necessary. But the other thing is that they portray the other chicks with a danger, a sexiness, an edge, and that makes makes the comparison between what Tom Cruise does and what Tom Cruise could settle for, Ethan Hunt, that is, very, very different, very, very fun.
Yeah.
But
like the Agent Ferris, at least we didn't get a whole lot of her, and she wasn't in the best state. But even her, she's sexier, looking all about to die. Than Julia
Maggie
kind
Q.
of is.
Yeah,
throughout the whole movie. Which,
just because that's the portrayal is that she's the spy. There's danger. There's allure. I think that's 100% intentional.
I'm talking Carrie Russell, the Agent
Oh,
Ferris
Carrie
in
Russell,
the
that's right,
beginning
yeah.
operation. Even her, who has an explosive device planted in her brain and is like on the
That's
brink
pretty
of death.
graphic,
you
man.
know, like
Whenever,
oh my god,
whenever it goes off,
the eyes, just in the noise and like the just like ooh, yeah, that was not. No bueno there. I didn't.
And this
I did
is,
not like that.
this is classic JJ Abrams formatting. Also, I have a tough time sometimes with the start in the middle, flashback. So we're built. But I don't mind it here. It's a really, really great tone setter. It gets you to know that and I think that part was relatively well shot. Also, Tom Cruise and Philip Seymour Hoffman are fucking performing. So is Michelle Monaghan, but she's got a gag on, so she doesn't have as much a chance.
Yeah.
But the reveal that she's there is one of my favorite shots in the movie too. Whenever he's like, "I'm gonna give you to the count of 10." Where she dies, and the camera like pulls around Tom Cruise's head and reveals that she's sitting there. It's like why Tom Cruise is acting the way he is. Like it's really good. It's really impressive, and that's why like I enjoy that tone setter. I enjoy that drop back down to earth when we get out of the credits and we're just like at a house party with Tom Cruise and his new wife, who you're like, wait, last I saw he was with Thandiwe Newton, and that was that, But
yeah, and then it's like, no, but it's not even her actually in the chair. I even forgot who was actually under the Julia mask.
It was the head of security who
that's
let
right. Yes,
Tom Cruise and them get away with the operation at the Vatican.
Okay. So yeah, but dead. Shot shot. I don't know. Gave a bullet through the brain. There, Tom Cruise. That freaking.
Dude, great performance. That just
actually,
shocked, stunned into
like,
silence.
So
like, good. Like numb at that point. Like, and that's what's crazy is that like I know Tom Cruise is a movie star. I know he's been famous for a very, very long time, but you never really hear about how good of an actor he actually is. You know what I'm saying? Like all you hear about are the stunts and all the danger he puts himself in, and how he's Mr. Movies and he's I'll see you at the movies, all that good stuff. Which is 100% a big part of his persona, but I feel like that just got lost in the shuffle. That he is a genuinely talented performer. Yeah. And I mentioned last week that we kind of see, across these three movies, you see completely different sides of him. And it really, really pays off big time. And I think that it makes the end of this movie. This could have been the end of the movies. It could have been the end of Mission Impossible, and it would have been a great ending to Mission Impossible. Like it would have been like beautiful. Ethan Hunt got his happy ending. He's going on his honeymoon. Let's go. But I love that it wasn't.
But now
because
Julia knows. Julia knows. And it feels like, he tried, or Ethan tried to teach. Like it was Agent Harris, a pupil of Ethan, and then completely, she was out of the game. She didn't even know of the game at all, or like she kind of was in the world, and then Ethan taught her up, or like what was the start
Agent Ferris?
He's
training IMF agents.
Okay. Oh, okay. So that is just an actual a thing they do.
Yeah,
okay.
He's actually training people within the organization.
Was this his first trainee, or is this something he's done before?
I take it that it was a very I think it was his first. Is kind of how I take it. I think there's even a part in his like little flashback where he's like, and I congratulate you for being the first student to, I think that's right. Part of it.
Yeah. You're the first I would actually recommend for to be
exactly for assignment.
Like damn, and then she happens. Yeah, you lose.
So maybe not his first student, but his first successful student. Yeah. The first one that he was like, oh, you're going to be something, and then now she's dead, so he feels responsible and all that good stuff.
Yeah, Because now at least at the, he has the, I need you to trust me. And he can't say anything, but now it's all up in the air. And it seems that she's kind of like, with killing 2 people, at the end. And he's like, oh, you did this? Oh, he's like, at least.
I love that part.
Mm-hmm,
wow,
like,
you did this? Okay.
Yeah, he's like, bro can come back from death and be instantly back in it, bro. He's like, he grabs the gun, boom. Yeah, I don't know.
Hugged her, pointed it, like, and right where a dude was, like, I don't know, like, dude's got it. Got it. That's why, I love Ethan Hunt. It's impossible to not go with Ethan Hunt. I thought maybe I'd be, like, there are a few more character options this week, I think. I think Luther gives himself a really good shot. Julia gives herself a really good shot. I mean, even Lawrence Fishburne's character, to an extent, gives himself a really good shot. But I mean, like, it's Ethan Hunt, dude. Like, how do you pass up on this guy? It's really hard. It's really hard to. And
thought his wife was dead, and like, but it wasn't. But he is in that numb state, and he said earlier, I forgot who, but he's like, if she dies, then I'm basically dead too,
Yeah,
like,
he says it to Luther.
And then like, so in that moment when he's numbed and he thinks that she is dead, he doesn't care. He's like not really trying anymore.
Nah,
but then the second he hears her voice and she says like the lake or whatever, he's like, oh yeah, he's back in it 100%. And he bites the fuck, and then he's like, oh, I don't know. It's
the fucking sprint while Simon Pegg is on the phone. Yes! That's
my God.
Funny enough, you were like, Lawrence Fishburne. Does he? No, the guy who is now an official part of the crew is Benji. No. Simon Pegg's Benji is in these movies now.
What?
Which is great.
God.
Yeah, starts
That's
in this
awesome.
tiny role here where he's just kind of funny.
That is.
I mean, he's a fantastic addition.
Yeah,
to
I
it,
like
though.
him.
I love Simon Pegg, and he does a great job.
One of the best trivias of this movie is that he, in some 2004 Shaun of the Dead. Yeah. He was asked like, how his career is going to be in Hollywood, and he jokingly said, he's like, well, it's not like I'm going to be in Mission Impossible 3. And then now to know that he's like actually coming back for all more of them is just
all
incredible.
of them. I think he's in the rest of the movies. I think he's in 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
So I don't know. Hopefully he didn't lose his job. He's all good. It was all for good reason. Does he get promoted because of this? Actually, is he actually like? Oh,
I can't remember.
You did such a great fucking job, dude. Yeah, I don't know. Or he's always.
I
this
think.
guy.
I think he becomes a field agent, which is even funnier.
Okay, I can see him going
that's his upgrade, and that's what's cool is that we've got a lot to like. We're not even halfway through. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the good stuff.
That's true. Man.
There's a lot of movie that we've got to go, and it does become after this one a lot more concerned with continuity as far as continuing a story that's been being told. Obviously we ended the second movie and he was walking off into the sunset with a completely different woman than the one he starts this movie married to.
There has to be some time,
at some point it starts to lock in, and this is that point it starts to lock in on continuity, and I really do appreciate what this movie kind of set forth for the franchise. I think that it was a brilliant direction to take the franchise, and that's why, like, I as much as I'm like, yeah, I can see how this isn't the best movie. I love it, man. I love Mission Impossible 3. I have a tough time. Like, I think the first one is the best.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might have a better time watching this.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's just so balls to the wall all the time.
The stunts are actually like impressive too. Like this is when they start to get like, I mean, the whole swing across the building. I mean, like he's not.
Dude, the fulcrum. Come on, that is like, sick.
Like he doesn't actually fulcrum from one building to the like this is.
I don't believe he does.
Yeah, but the idea of it, I guess there. But like I don't know, just everything was so clean. Like the scaling of the wall and like covering the camera with the picture, and then like
the
them
whole
getting
Vatican infiltration was so fucking
God,
sick, dude. When he changes into the outfit of one of the fathers, you know, I love that. Buongiorno, padre. Yeah, like
the grappling, and then like his other outfit was like sucked back up with like the grappling hook or whatever, and then like it was just every little the spy tech in this one was perfect. Like
so
everything
sick.
was on point. I don't know.
It only gets better too. It only gets better.
That's
and that's one of the best things about the next movie. I won't spoil it for you, but Ghost Protocol. That's a
Ghost Protocol. Yeah, that's okay.
It's something that puts the IMF at a bit of a disadvantage. I'll put it at that.
Okay. Yeah, seems they're looking for someone that is trained in being a ghost. This is what they're good at. What Ethan I don't know. So yeah, I'm hoping, I don't know. This, at least the future I see, is him like wanting to train his wife, and then them being like super sexy about it, you know, and being like, "This is my life," and everything, and then it just gets really hot.
And that's I do think that that's something that this movie did kind of it did set up in a way. You know, she displays a pretty natural ability. You know, but is there a part of Ethan Hunt that refuses to allow that? You know, or like doesn't want her in this life? Yeah. You know, like if he can keep her as safe as possible, isn't that what he should do? It's going to be so. It's so outstanding that we have a 8-movie franchise that spans nearly 30 years. Because this is 10 years after the first movie. 6 years after the second movie. The next movie isn't for another 5 years. The next movie after that isn't for another 4. You know, like there's the gaps they took on these movies. They approach it like that much time has passed. You know what I'm saying? They don't pick up any movie. They don't pick up any movie like right where we left off. I don't think.
Yeah, so
I think 7 and 8 will be like that, but beyond that, there's not a lot like that.
Yeah, if you're keeping up in like the real timeline, if you're actually watching as these movies are coming out, then it's actually a lot more believable to be like, oh no, he does have a new wife, or like he did leave, and he, I don't know, starting all this over. Because for me, you know, going, you know, just a week in between each movie, it's a lot different to think about. I don't know, the time and everything, but I don't think you did say it is kind of more of an adventure of the week, and it does just feel that way. It did feel, it's like, oh no, we got a new gang. It's just a new,
and it will, and you know, there will be new threats, which will be part of the new adventure of every movie. But they do even start to become a little bit more connected. You know, it does feel like there is a little bit more. I mean, there's just more continuity in the next 4 movies, which it's a pro and a con. I think I loved the Adventure of the Week format. I loved just like, this is like fucking brand new story with Ethan Hunt. That's fun. That's exciting. But you know, the 4th movie is 2011, and we're seeing the rise of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and stuff, and these interconnected narratives where everything is, you know, like everything is connected, everything's important to the other stuff, you know. The landscape of franchise filmmaking kind of called for it, and they stood up to the challenge. I think they do a great job.
Yeah, well, but I got to give JJ Abrams props. This is one thing.
Oh yeah.
If it is him, I don't know if it was him that made this decision, but in Rome, it just says that crowds, they couldn't do anything about the crowds watching the film production. So they hired just a crap ton of girls in bikinis, and also older women dressed up as nuns, to be a distraction for the real filming going on elsewhere. So I love the idea that a bunch of just women one day got paid just to like be an extra. I don't know, just as a pure distraction. That's just kind of sick.
That's so funny.
And what were they doing? What was bikinis and nuns? You know, what was the shot being made there? I'm interested to know. But yeah, I wonder how much of a guinea pig JJ Abrams was. Like this being a debut film is like actually kind of nuts. Like it also
it's
says
really impressive.
Yeah.
You know,
the most expensive one ever undertaken, $150 million on a debut film. Like that is, I don't know. That's.
I'm
nuts.
pretty sure that was broken by Joseph Kosinski on Tron Legacy.
Oh,
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, budget for that, 170 million, good old 20 million more.
Go.
Damn.
There you go.
Yeah.
And a nice little connection there. Joseph Kosinski would go on to direct Top Gun Maverick with Tom Cruise, baby. It all ties together.
This is weird. I found this isn't a connection really at all. It's just a weird rabbit hole I dove down since we have Bubbles kind of in here, Ving Rhames. I saw that there's a new Lilo and Stitch movie coming out, and I really hoped that Ving Rhames was returning as Bubbles, but he's not. That's
kind of insane.
Yeah, it is Courtney B. Vance, and I'm like, do I know
Courtney
him
B.
from
Vance
anything?
Is good. Yeah, you would.
And the only thing I do is the narrator from Isle of Dogs, that's kind of nuts. That was kind of insane. I'm like, just a really weird random connection. Bubbles to Wes Anderson.
Yeah, I mean the reason is that the reason Ving Rhames didn't shoot Lilo and Stitch is because he shot MI8.
That's
almost
fair.
Certainly,
probably a little bit more important. Yeah, fair
probably
enough.
A good trade off.
Honestly,
probably a good trade off.
Yeah. Bubbles, Bubbles or Luther. Yeah, I think. I don't know. Well,
I'm going with Luther Stickle, man.
I don't know. Maybe in the parallel universe where he chose Bubbles, maybe that's the best goddamn Bubbles performance we've ever seen. The time where he actually gets
Oscar
to be Bubbles.
Contender.
Yeah.
Ving Rhames gets nominated for Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars for Lilo and Stitch.
But Luther, who knows? Maybe this is Luther's time to really shine. I don't know the future or what is in store.
Dude, Luther's great. There's no doubt to me that you'll find that he shines a lot more in 5, 6, 7. This is just kind of the start, I think. Like the first one, he's still that kind of scoundrel on the outskirts, and him and Tom Cruise kind of keep each other at arm's length, and you can tell they're softening at the end. But then in the second one, he's there, but he's not really that important. He's just kind of around. The third one, he's much more important to Tom Cruise's personal life. He's the one who kind of sends them off on their honeymoon with his little celebration and everything. Like that's cute. It's clear they're becoming much more important to each other.
You never slept with your little sister, right? Yeah, like I don't know, he's always the one that's like just, I don't know. He's the actual friend that like Ethan can kind of confide in. And I love that on the plane that like, was that the whole point? Like the whole point of letting Ethan like kind of break down and get him to do something is so that he could just learn his name. Was that the whole point of like? I guess maybe not the entire point. He just.
I don't think it was a mastermind plan by Davian there.
But
I genuinely think Davian is willing to not talk. I think he's willing to I mean, he didn't want to die. You know what I'm saying? You could tell there was a look on Philip Seymour Hoffman's face that was like, "Oh shit, this might be it. I might go down here." But he's prepared for that. I think that's just kind of something he's ready for.
This dude...
He just happens to learn. Yeah, and Luther, Ethan. There was a meme on the internet just a couple years ago, or in between Dead Reckoning and The Final Reckoning, where it was like pictures of Luther. And it was just Ethan, and then like a long body of text, like just the way that. Let me see if I can't find an example. Luther trend, Twitter.
Yeah, homie gave him up. Homie gave him up. It was
damn shame.
Yeah, but I mean, he did. I mean, come on. He was right. It's not him. It wasn't him. That was that he was just acting off emotion there. And not on Ethan's principles. But yeah, I don't know, Davian here. It is crazy how much he amped up the performance for the villain.
Oh yeah, PSH is so good. I love Philip Seymour Hoffman in anything he's in.
Is he? Wait, 2004? Did he die? Did he pass away?
Oh,
Is
yeah,
he?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No.
He's been
Oh
dead for
man.
over a decade now.
Oh damn, 2014. Yeah, I guess I was watching him in
Yeah.
the Hunger Games, recently, but that was like that's actually it. That is, oh my, that's so much sadder to actually. Damn.
Yeah, yeah. Sadly, passed away from a drug overdose, which is really, really
Oh,
devastating. Yeah,
damn.
PSH was a real, like a generationally talented, one of the
Oh
best
my.
actors ever. I love PSH. The Big Lebowski, formative. He is so good in that.
Ooh.
He's
We need to get to that then.
The
Yeah.
Master is a fantastic movie with Joaquin Phoenix and Philip Seymour Hoffman, Amy
Ooh.
Adams. Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. He's in Magnolia, also with Tom Cruise, also another Paul Thomas
He's in
Anderson
Twister?
movie.
The OG
He was in
Twister?
Moneyball. Yeah, yeah, he is. He's
Huh.
not a very important part in that,
Oh,
but he
okay.
is in it, and he's a lot of fun.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm like he's been around. He did some stuff, and he was so good. So like, yeah, that's an actor where if you go through and try to like knock out the big points of his filmography, you'll be very, very pleased. Philip Seymour Hoffman, it was just absolutely incredible. But I did find an example of that Luther trend I was talking about. It's a picture of Ethan. It's a picture of Luther talking to Ethan, and the caption on the photo is, "Ethan, you have to do the hokey pokey, but not before you shake your right hand all about. Only after this can you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. I love you."
I feel like everyone just knows the Luther voice. Like
Yeah.
his voice is just so, I don't know, so him, but it bubbles. It's just his. No matter where he is, it is just that. I don't know. Just to read every meme in that voice. I wish, man. I don't know. I wish I've been in the know of MI. It kind of sucks that it is just right now that I'm becoming in the know of everything. But I don't know. Better late than never. I guess it is finally good to get all of these. And yeah, crazy that I'm not even halfway through.
No, yeah, it is. It's wild whenever I thought about it like that, because I was watching the movie last night and I was like, man, I love like I was thinking about how much I love this movie. I love Mission Impossible 3. And I don't think I have a choice but to put it at 6 out of 7.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
that's how good the franchise is. Like, I genuinely, whenever I look back on all the other movies that we have to come, and the only one that I can comfortably, upon rewatch, put below it is the one by John Woo. Are you fucking
That's
kidding
crazy.
me?
Yeah.
Like that's fucking insane. Yeah, the franchise it's deeply special. So like, and Philip Seymour Hoffman, I don't think there's a better villain in the franchise. There's one later on that, as far as there's not a better performed villain in the franchise. I'll put it at that. There might be one that might be written a little better. But yeah, we've got some people coming up, man. We got a lot of stars who pop in and out of these movies. And I can't wait. But
Yeah, I can't.
yeah, man.
I don't know. The sprint was nice. Whenever
We got the sprint. We got the official.
Yeah.
He like jumps down the buildings and then
Oh.
just fucking bolts, dude. It's so sick.
I've seen this. I guess I was wondering how much I've seen of the future movies, just in how popular they are. And I guess I've seen this shot, just I don't know whether on YouTube or what. But whenever I'm just actually watching it, I couldn't do anything else but I just said yes. I was yes. I don't know. I just kept like it was like
not just there's that part where he like jumps down the buildings, and then he comes to a corner and he turns left, and then there's a cut and he just fucking sprints for like
Goes.
half a mile, and like he's in like one spot on the screen, but the rest of the screen is fucking flying by.
Man.
I'm like, that's so good. I fucking love it. It's electrifying. Tom Cruise is an incredible performer, and the like form he runs with is so fucking proper. It's insane.
the phone in the hand too. Honestly,
yeah,
good move.
yeah.
Good move. If it was nothing in his hands, I don't know if it probably still would have worked. I don't know why. The phone just made it it added something else to it. It was like
It
can even run this fast, make it look so effortless, and then just be kind of on the phone and have, I don't know, at the same. It was just so many things going on, and everyone else. He's like screaming, "It's okay!" And like in Shanghai, I don't know. I think it's just like
it's okay,
but like,
it's okay, I'm fine. Yeah,
yeah. It's just, I'm just going on my morning sprint down the fucking harbor, or I don't know.
Well, and I love that right before that. He like Simon Pegg's like, you're there, and he's like, oh, I'm in the building. He's, no, you're about a mile away.
Yeah, man, yeah, it's
and they take us pretty much real time. Tom Cruise running a mile.
Yeah, bro, just actually ran a mile.
He just ran that far, and then you had to do the little divvies up into corners. I mean, like it took him like 4.5 minutes, man. Like that's good time in the streets of Shanghai. Like that's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Very moving quick. I mean, even on the fulcrum, bro busted out the Social Network, drawing on the glass, doing the math right then and there. That was sick. Tracing the buildings and then being like, "What's the height of this building?
It's tall enough.
What's the height of this building?" I love how she also Zen just knows. She's like, "Yeah, I don't know if she had like a laptop at the time or if she like
she had some sort of file. It says this. Yeah. Okay, she's not just like, I don't know. It looks like 215 meters. Yeah.
I know 45 meters in between the building, or like I'm like, damn. Okay, fuck it. These people are just fucking goated.
No,
these are.
I'm pretty sure she has a file of some sort in front of her. But
yeah,
let's talk. Last thing we haven't really touched on. Billy Crudup, the guy who ends up being a shitbird, the guy who betrays him.
Yes.
Great character, great portrayal. I love the sequence where Mission there's just so many great sequences in this movie. Whenever they bombard and kidnap Owen Davian from the bridge, great sequence. Whenever he calls Aaron Paul, by the way, and is like, where's Julia? He's like, oh man, I'm sorry I'm at your house. Did your friend find you? And he's like, fuck, no he didn't. Okay, give me a second. He calls the hospital, can't find her, tries to, like, all of that, whenever he gets taken in, and then Billy Crudup does his little, voice, the lip sync thing, like having him read his lips. I love that sequence. One of my favorite parts of the movie. And I do think that it could have been better written, because, I don't know, just tactically not a great choice to reveal yourself if you're curious if anybody knows. He's like, Agent Ferris sent you a message. Did she know about me and Davian? Did she know what I'm doing? Am I compromised at the IMF? Like, I don't know. It's just kind of like, I want to make it clear to the viewer that I am the bad guy. And I thought that part was a little goofy, but regardless, I still think it's pretty well performed. Billy Crudup is a great actor. Tom Cruise does a great job across from him. One of my favorite parts of that sequence, just because it is so fucking mind-numbingly stupid, is whenever he calls Lawrence Fishburne's character an affirmative action poster boy of the IMF.
Affirmative action post. Oh my god, I missed this line. Holy god.
He calls him and I will remind you, the IMF is a secret agency that nobody knows about.
Yeah,
there are no affirmative action poster boys in the IMF. The IMF is a secret agency that nobody knows about. The
reason he's there is every line that he said in this movie. That is like the dude.
I bullshit you not. I will bleed on the flag to make sure those stripes stay red. I was like, I'm not patriotic, but that's a fucking bar. That's a fucking bar.
Yeah, no, I don't want anyone else in the position. He is a poet. He reminded me of oh my god, in Peaks, who's the mean FBI agent who comes in and
Albert Rosenfield.
Yes, but on absolute steroids. This is like at just peak.
The foundation of such a method is love. Yeah,
that would be awesome. Yeah, if he I don't know had the same mentality somehow.
Tom
and just
Cruise
came
whipping
around.
out the Lawrence Fishburne impression when he's trying to escape. Pretty great.
Yeah, yeah, and then just holding the button down and then putting on "We Are Family." Yeah, that I don't know. That was good.
Kidding me. Yeah, no, that's why I'm like, there's just so many parts of this movie that it's so loaded. It's loaded to the gills with all sorts of shit that happens. That a lot of it can fall by the wayside if you're not parsing through it the way we are. But
maybe it would have been nice to slow down a little bit. I don't know, because it is just bang, 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 bang. It is like, oh dang, yeah, we are kind of going here. And
I mean, it could have been nice, but I think the movie does actively benefit from the breakneck pace that it has. You know, when it comes to another movie by JJ Abrams with a similar pace is The Rise of Skywalker, where we are just holy shit, we're moving. Now that I don't feel like is a movie that benefits from a breakneck pace. I think that there is kind of there's not as much a sense of urgency as this movie did necessitate. We do have a literal you have this much time or else I'm going to kill your wife. Like that does make everything change a little bit, you know. I'm pretty sure that's the entire back half of this movie is that.
Yeah, everything is very time crunchy. It is very and you believe it. Like Davian's words are very truthful. Like every threat that came out of his mouth, I'm like, yes, no, he will actually do this. This dude is so confident. Like at the beginning when he's like or just telling Ethan no, I will find out who you are. I will find your wife. I will put her in front of you. I will kill her in front. I was like, oh my lord. I'm like, holy shit, this dude is just I don't know.
Whenever he's talking about Agent Ferris and he's like, that was fun.
Yeah.
You know, and he says it he says it just kind of annoyed. Like he's not even he's not reveling in it or anything. He's not like, oh, that was such a great, he's not like being a supervillain. He's not like being Joker, like, I get off on that. That was beautiful. No, he's like, that was just, that was fun. You know, kind of annoyed that they'd even ask him about it or talk about it. Like, it's so good.
Anti-God. I don't know.
The anti-God.
That was sick. I don't know. Yeah, Simon Pegg coming in, that monologue was pretty cool. Gave me a new fear, you know, or at least a way to... this is a fear I guess I've already had. It's a nice way to say it. It's a nice anti-God. That's a good name for it, I feel like. It is. And yeah, whatever... this anti-God is, you know, I hope we don't got one in the real world. I hope this rabbit's foot is purely a MacGuffin, purely just and
that's why just so deeply Spielbergian to have something like this that is just an ultimate power that could destroy the world at any given point if it falls into the wrong hands. You know, they don't even know what it is, and Tom Cruise tells Billy Crudup, if you don't hear from me in 8 hours, send a fucking army after this thing. You know,
army.
We don't know what it is. Yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible. I really, and that's why I love the movie, man. I can't help but love the movie.
Yeah. No, this one's if it has to be the second to last movie, I'm very happy. Very, very happy with the rest of them already. Because this is it is I will put it above John Woo. I will put it above 2. I cannot put it above 1.
I can't put it above 1. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's I don't know if it's closer to 1. I mean, I don't know. It is just kind of right there in the middle. I feel like it is. Yeah. It's not really closer.
Well, and we'll get to throw a number at it. You know, we'll actually be able to do the math here before long. Whenever we do give this movie a rating at the end of the episode, do we have much else to say, or should I go ahead and do the plugs?
I think we're there.
I think so too. I think so too. So with that, stick around through the plugs. We'll go ahead and rate this movie on a scale of 1 to 10. We'll go over the previous movies and kind of compare, contrast, all that good stuff. But if you would, leave a 5-star rate and review and download wherever you might be listening. It is a huge help for me. Very, very reassuring that you are out there, you are listening. We like to do this just because we like to do this, but we also like to know that people are listening to what we have to say. So we would appreciate if you did download, if you did leave a review, if you left us feedback of any sort. You can hit me up on Blue Sky at Colton Robertson. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you're excited about with the new Mission Impossible movie. Ask us any questions you might have or anything. We're a couple weeks ahead of the game, but I might be able to answer the questions come the release day of MI8. That'd be a lot of fun. You can subscribe on YouTube go ahead and look up the Cinementalists, as it's spelt here. You can comment on those episodes if you want to interact with us at all. We can try to hit you back a little bit. We got a little greetings from Poland the other day, which was cool. Shout out to that guy.
Hey.
Got listeners everywhere, which is very, very cool. Like I said, leave a 5-star rating review and share with whoever you might know who has seen Mission Impossible, hasn't seen Mission Impossible. Either way, this is the pod for them. As you know, Joe has not seen the Mission Impossible movies, and I have. So, there's been some spoiler-esque territory, but we've kept it pretty safe. But the other show we've got going on is Fire Pod with me, a Game of Thrones podcast. I'm very, very excited. Or Game of Thrones, a Twin Peaks podcast. That's so funny. Fire Pod with me is a Twin Peaks podcast. The Fire and Bloom muscle memory took over there. That was wild. But didn't realize we've had two podcasts with fire in it. Yeah. That is wild. Completely coincidental. Hadn't even thought of that until just now. Fire Pod with me, a Twin Peaks podcast going on right now. Earlier this week, we concluded our watch of Season 1, and Season 2 begins next week. I'm very, very excited for that. That podcast is friendly to the first-time viewer and the rewatcher alike, much like the Mission Impossible franchise we're doing now. I am rewatching Twin Peaks. Joe is watching it for the first time, and it's great trying to parse the mystery of who killed Laura Palmer. So we're having a great time there. Andor will start next week. We'll be covering that on Fulcrum, a Star Wars podcast. Very, very excited for that. Those episodes will be out next Friday alongside MI4 here on the Cinementalists. So we've got Ghost Protocol next Friday, Andor next Friday, and the Twin Peaks Season 2 premiere next Monday. To all of those who will be celebrating it, have a happy Easter on Sunday, and to all of those who will be celebrating it, have a happy 420. So, we got a lot to look forward to in the next week, baby. But let's go ahead and rate this movie. How are we feeling about MI3?
Well, I did say it was just kind of quite in the middle, and if we were to completely middle it, it would be an 8.5. We went 2 points below for MI1. From a 9.5 to a 7.5. An 8.5, that's I think my gut kind of took me more to an 8 flat, or like
me too.
Yeah, so I think it felt a little better. I don't think a 7.75.
There's a lot to like, and that does bring it to an 8 for me. But I do. The thing is that I think 8 is as high as I can confidently take it without being like. I already feel like I'm overrating it at an 8, but it's the kind of overrating that I'm comfortable doing. I'm like, that's just a reflection of how much I enjoy the movie. I think it's an 8 out of 10. I completely understand if you're like, this is a 6 out of 10, you're a fucking idiot. And that's why I can't take it higher than an 8, is because I can see where people are coming from whenever they talk about the movie in a negative light, which, if I was completely blind to it, if I was like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, this would be higher. But I do. I understand why this doesn't work for some people.
It's like,
but
I think
it does work for me.
That review only kind of works in a vacuum. But this is Mission Impossible 3. This is I'm only going to watch it really if I'm watching the whole franchise. And it's going to come after the second one, which is still fun and a good time, but it is better. And so it will always be the better movie after I watch 2. So I don't know. I think maybe that's why I'm overvaluing it a little bit. But in a vacuum, this is more of a 7 or a 7.5 as well.
Legit. I've watched by the end of this watch through, I will have watched every Mission Impossible movie 3 times, except for the first one. The first one I will have seen 5 times, I think, or something like that. So that's, and then obviously 8 whenever it comes around. But I don't watch any of these on their own. I don't watch any of them just like, no, I feel like watching Mission Impossible 5. Because I'll tell you what'll happen. I'll tell you what will happen. I'll watch Mission Impossible 5, and then I'll go, I'm just going to watch the whole fucking thing. You know, like, I'm just going to watch all these movies. And I've made it kind of a yearly thing now. I watched them all in anticipation of Dead Reckoning. And then I watched all of them last year on a random rewatch, and now I'm watching them all this year. So, you know, like, I think it's just kind of, that's my tradition now, is that once a year, I'm just going to watch all the Mission Impossible movies, and that's how it goes.
Yeah, not bad to do.
No, not at all. Not at all. You know, and that's MI3. I appreciate it for what it is. Will I ever just pluck it out of the line? I haven't yet. Maybe one day I will. Maybe I'm on a Philip Seymour Hoffman tear or something, and I'm like, yeah, let's go ahead and cross MI3 off the list again. But yeah, man, I have a great time with it. So I think with that, at an 8 out of 10. Is that where we're landing?
Yeah, we're loving critics. You know, it's
we are. We absolutely are. We don't claim to be. Yeah, we don't claim to be something we're not. We are very loving.
So,
and we mostly discuss movies that we know we're going to like.
Yeah.
We don't really take chances. Like, and frankly, we're also easy to please. Let's not act like we're like, there's so much out there that I have a tough time finding movies I don't like. You know, I don't watch movies that I don't think I'll like. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't like a movie, it's a genuine surprise because I thought I was going to like it. I chose it to watch.
I don't think we will ever encounter one at all on this franchise for me. This is bottom. It's only going to go up from here, which is awesome. And interconnectedness is kind of only a benefit.
Well, that's what I'm excited
me,
to see.
so.
You know, I'm confident it's 6 out of 7 for me. I'm deeply interested to find out if it is for you. You know, like that's what's kind of awesome about the franchise is that like there'll be within the next month, everyone will be posting their Mission Impossible rankings. You know, especially after 8 comes out, their Mission Impossible rankings. Here's how I rank the Mission Impossible movies. When that was happening, the last round on Twitter, when I was still on Twitter, you rarely saw the same fucking ranking. Like it was all just like people. They have their own favorites in the Mission Impossible franchise, and there are lists that have MI2 and MI3 at the top. You know, like that's real. That's real shit. You know, there are people who love those movies so much. You know, so like that's why I'm like I can't really guarantee you this will be 6 out of 7 for you. I can just be confident that it is 6 out of 7 for me.
As of right now. It's 2. I guess the order goes 1, 3, 2 right now.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming 4. We'll see where it slots in. But
I am excited for that. Ghost Protocol is one of those ones where like I've seen people have it first. I've seen people have it last. So it's exciting to
like
kind
those.
of parse that. Yeah, it's wonderful. But excited for Ghost Protocol next week. We will be back. Like I said, leave a 5-star rate and review and download wherever you might be listening. I was Colton Robertson, and I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. And remember, I'm part of an agency called the IMF. What's that stand for? Impossible Mission Force. Shut up.
No, really. No.